Well, welcome everybody. This morning we are coming to you live from London. We've been over here for a week. We came over to a conference. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go through. But we're going to talk about an incredible global opportunity. We're going to talk about a little light frequency patch this size. It's about the size of a pea. You can see it against my skin. It's not very big, but that is using the body's own light to heal the body. And we're seeing some incredible outcomes. We've got an incredible business opportunity that's in behind it, that's driving it globally. So people can come on and look, you might be invited along today and you're saying, hey, I just want to look at a better health outcome. I want to feel a little bit better about myself. I might want to earn a very sideline income, or I want to replace my current income and have some choices and travel the world, or whatever it is you'd do if you had some time or you had more time. So my name is Chris Boone.
And I'm Andrea Phillips.
And look, we've been involved in this incredible business for around about, 15 months, where I came upon a friend of mine who was struggling terribly with a health condition. He was immobile basically because all his joints had seized up. He couldn't walk up and down stairs, and it was really impacting his whole life and his well-being. Excuse me. The reason he was putting on weight is because he couldn't get around and about. But I saw him several months later and he was a completely different person. And I said, mate, look at you. You look amazing. What have you been doing? And he said, I've been patched. Now, we're going to talk about that as we go through. We sat down in a cafe yesterday, a restaurant, talking to somebody about being patched, and they just looked at me blankly. So if you're looking at us blankly on the screen about being patched, we're going to explain what that is. And so during the conversation, he said, look, I've got my health back. I can move. I've got my mobility. I've got my energy. I just feel $1,000,000. I feel like I was, 15, 20 years ago. And so that got my curiosity, because Andrea and I have always been into health and well-being, and we take our supplements, we work out, we try and eat well as we can. And so that got a curiosity. I went along to a meeting, which we're going to show you that in a PowerPoint presentation in just a moment. But that I came away from that thinking there's something to this. It is so simple. And we're talking about less than a cup of coffee a day, enabling your body to operate at its maximum potential. And I came back to Andrea, who was on the top of a mountain. I said, I found this great new health technology. We're going to start wearing it. We're going to get patched.
And that made no sense to me whatsoever. And Chris was very enthusiastic about this patch that I had no idea what he was on about. And I said, talk to me in a couple of days when I come back off the mountain. So came back off the mountain and he's still very excited about this patch. So anyhow, I was the skeptical one, not anymore, but I was at the time thinking, well, I don't know why I need to be wearing this. What good is this going to do? But after seeing a number of testimonials, it's like, there's certainly something in this patch.
So let's just jump straight into the presentation, because we'll start really with the technology itself.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. If it doesn't, just come off mic and let me know, because we don't have a spare screen here. We're just in a hotel room in London. We've got a computer piled up on some towels, so we've got the right angle. We're not at home in our office where we've got all our gear. But look, have you been patched? We're talking about using a light frequency patch to allow you to use your own body's light to heal itself by activating a peptide called the GHK copper peptide and regenerating your dormant stem cells.
So this is David Schmidt. He is the CEO and inventor of X39. So now he has close to 300 patents. He is a scientist and inventor. He specializes in age reversing. And in 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research. And his recent patent took him 10 years and $4.5 million USD to bring it to the market.
And look, and this is not just something that popped up overnight. We're hearing about peptides. We're hearing about stem cell replacement. We're hearing about famous people who go and spend $25,000 injecting stem cells to heal their need. We're not talking about that. And we're not talking about something that David Smith has jumped on the bandwagon. This is a man's life's work. They've just ran a documentary that was aired or premiered just very recently in Los Angeles. It's going to be available in the main streaming platforms very shortly, talking about his journey, which goes right back to the early 2000s, where he was contracted to the Navy SEALs, the American military, working with the Navy SEALs. They were looking for ways to keep their energy levels up, when they're in the submarines for long periods of times, and recover quicker after engagements. But then 9/11 come along, so their focus switched. David Smith went into the private sector. He then teamed up with National University in Ireland and Galway, and then over that period of time, developed what's called the X39. And it's a patent technology, and that's really important for two reasons. One is to get a US patent, it has to do what it says it does. You can't go along and say, hey, I've got an idea. I think I could reactivate dormant stem cells. I could elevate a copper peptide. They would say, that's really nice. You go away and actually come back with the results. You prove you can do it, then you can get your patent. So the patent says, it talks about a beneficial effect on the human body by providing phototherapy. And as a result of elevating a copper peptide, including the activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. And every time I say that, I smile because any one of those would be amazing. And so be able to get a patent for a phototherapy that delivering light to the body, your own body's light, it is that simple to produce those results. He had to do that. He proved it. He got his patent. But the other thing with a patent is its exclusivity. You can only get this through a brand partner of LifeWave. You can't go online, eBay or Amazon and get this. They are on there. No, they're not on there. There are duplicates. There are copies. There are fakes on there. It is not the real thing. Like any successful company, people are going to copy it.
So why the X39? So when we're born, we're made up of stem cells. So every organ in our body is made up of stem cells. But as we start to age, our stem cells start to become dormant. So they start to go to sleep. So by the time we're 30, 50% of our stem cells are active. But by the time we're 60, less than 10% are active. So when we're born, obviously, well, as young children, if they fall over and they hurt themselves or they graze themselves, they heal really quickly. As we age, it takes, and especially like our parents or our grandparents, it takes longer for them, for their body to heal itself. So that's because the stem cells are not active. So they seem to bruise a lot easier, and it takes a lot longer to heal.
Yeah, I certainly noticed that with my mum and dad, and just how long it took them to heal. So, look, how does it work? We're talking about a proprietary form of phototherapy. Now, light therapy has been around for centuries, and it's been an acceptable modality of treatment for probably the last century, and a lot of wellness clinics use that. So there's nothing new there. But what the genius of David Smith is, it's a wearable light therapy. So instead of sitting down and having the light therapy focused on a particular area, which does promote stem cell activity, which does promote healing, we're talking about putting this on an acupressure point, wearing it for 12 hours during the day, and then taking it off for 12 hours later. And it is just it's capturing your own light. Now, I didn't know we give off light. We give off heat, knew that, but we also give off a light. It's just capturing a low frequency or a low amount of that light. It doesn't need much. And reflecting it back and being able to massage, if you like, the copper peptide, elevate that copper peptide in the bloodstream, which is a naturally occurring peptide. By elevating that, it sends a signal to your dormant stem cells to come back and start producing. So we've got the stem cells there, they're just dormant. And it's the easiest way to explain this is when you go in the sun, there is absolutely no vitamin D's in the sun's rays. The sun's rays elevate the vitamin D that's already in our body. like this does, captures a little bit of our own light. It's like a mirror. There's nothing entering the bloodstream, nothing entering that skin barrier. It is just reflecting the light back, elevating the copper peptide, signaling to your dormant stem cells to start producing again. So there's no drugs, there's no chemicals, there's no stimulants. It's completely non-invasive and it's non-transdermal.
So the benefits of X39, we get optimum health and wellness, improved exercise performance, improvement in strength and in stamina, healthy energy flow. There are no drugs or stimulants.
So we're talking about achieving the optimum state of or optimum health, which is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Excuse me. So, so the long-term results. So within the first few days of using the X39, over 4,000 genes begin to reset to a younger age. It's called upregulating because genes get damaged with age, with lifestyle, with the environment, with our food that we're eating, and different things. So, and it leaves us susceptible to age-related diseases and conditions. We're talking about regenerating or resetting over 4,000 genes to a younger age just within the first few days. Within around about 6 weeks, the brain becomes a little bit more balanced. I certainly noticed that with the clarity of thinking, probably actually after 2 weeks, not 6 weeks. But we've noticed that with some of our neurodiverse friends, family that we know, colleagues who just struggle a little bit with concentration and their mind wandering all over the place. I've just found that they've been able to focus and been a little bit more centered in their thinking. But after around about 3 months, collagen comes back. Now, ladies and men, we all know about collagen. What happens when our collagen thins or declines? The collagen production in our body declines. We get wrinkles, right? And so the copper peptide we're talking about, the GHK, that is also responsible for collagen production. So not only have our stem cells declined to by the age of 60, so only 10% of them are operating, and our body's trying to heal itself on 10%, but our collagen production has declined right down to about 40, or that GHK has right down to about 40%. So, but why is that so important? Well, it's really good to look good, right?
Absolutely.
But what is super important is because of all our major organs are made up of collagen, our heart, our veins, our arteries, tissues, sinews, our brain, there's so much collagen involved in that. If it's thinning on the outside, it's being mirrored on the inside. It's thinning on the inside. So bringing back collagen not only is going to help get rid of some of those wrinkles, ladies and men, but it's going to promote a lot better sense of well-being. And after 6 months, they found in the study group that the average heart reversal, biological heart reversal of their age, their heart age, had reversed by 8 years. Who wouldn't want a younger heart? And so we're not talking about age, anti-aging. We are talking about age reversing.
So how do we wear the X39? It's very simple. So you just wear it either on the back of your neck, your C7, or 2 fingers below your belly button. Or honestly, you can wear it anywhere that there is any pain. So if you're pain on your knee, you can put it there on your ankle, not a problem. Ideally, you wear it for 12 hours during the day. So because you need to hydrate it, it needs to lots of electrolytes, lots of Celtic salt, just so the Celtic salt opens up the cells, and so it holds the water a little bit better. And so keep hydrating with it. And then we take it off at night time, and it just gives the time for the body to rest and repair itself, and then put it back on again in the morning. So put it on when you're brushing your teeth, take it off at night when you're brushing your teeth. And ideally you wear it, you would continually wear it because it's like any supplement, you wouldn't stop wearing it, but ideally you'd wear it for 1 month for every decade you are old. So if you're in your 60s, 6 months, 70s, 7 months.
Yeah, that's to get the maximum, production of stem cells. So, look, just a disclaimer, and this is important because we're not doctors. We're not claiming this will heal, treat, or diagnose any sickness, illness, or disease, and neither does LifeWave. This is a wellness. It is a lifestyle product. It is not a medical product, and that is by design. David Smith didn't want to go down the medical product because then, think about it. That means that only medical people can recommend it. A wellness product, anybody can recommend it. So, but it's really important if there's something going on that you're not sure of, you check with your doctor because we're not doctors. We can just recommend and we can share what it does with us. So the way we do that, and I'll just come off sharing for a sec, is through personal testimony. And look, I've been out there sharing this since 15 months because what a difference it made to me personally. I haven't felt this good for 20 years. I'm lifting weights that I was lifting 20 years ago. Now, you're not supposed to do that. As you get older, the weights you lift are supposed to decline. I'm fitter than I was 20 years ago. I've had injuries that have healed that I couldn't get on top of. Old rugby injuries that come and, you get muscle tears and all those sort of things. Couldn't get on top of for 2.5 years. When I reactivated my dormant stem cells, they went and healed my body. The clarity of thought has been amazing. And we've seen it in so many of our families and friends, right through to our 95-year-old dad, who's now doing 50 freestanding squats a day and walking a K and a half a day. So he's feeling much better. He looks much better. He's just come back from a trip around South America by himself. So it's just amazing the results. And we've seen that in young people, we've seen that in athletes, we've seen that in older people, we've just seen that with people who want general better health and well-being.
Yeah, so we hear good testimonials every day, and you can go onto the WhatsApp group and you'll see the different testimonials that come through. And the thing is, I think with Chris's injury as well, is that he had been going to my girlfriend, who's a physiotherapist. He'd been seeing her twice a week for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Osteopaths, chiropractic, everything else to get on top of this injury, and nothing was working. The only thing he changed was putting a patch on, and yes, it took about 5 or 6 weeks, and then sometimes it doesn't happen as quickly as that. Sometimes it can take several months for anything to happen. And when I started wearing it, I thought, well, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't know why I need it, but if it's going to help collagen, I'm all for that. And if it's going to give me more energy, I'm all for that as well. And so therefore I wasn't expecting anything, but was pleasantly surprised going through that stage in a woman's life at that age and stage. And the mental clarity helped. It certainly helped with that. The better night's sleep, and we could always do with a good night's sleep. And the hot flushes. I still get them occasionally, but not like I used to. I used to have to wake up in the middle of the night because I had them and I just couldn't get back to sleep. Now I just don't have that issue. So it's a blessing for me and for him.
And for me. Absolutely for me. And I remember you saying to me, you just said, like, I didn't realize how bad it was until it went.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to go back and share the screen again. So look, if you want to check this out, if you're brand new here, just to check this go and have a look on thisitit.info.com. It's a great site. It's a fairly basic site, but on there are some videos about, it's an information site. There's videos about X39, videos about short videos about what LifeWave, David Smith. There's doctors on there talking. The patents, the studies, and the tests are on there. But look, this is just light. It's just using light to heal the body. I have people say, "Where's all the double-blind placebos tests and so forth?" Well, they're there, but I don't need that because we're talking personally. If it works and nothing's impacting my body, it's natural and it's creating those incredible results. Of course, I'm going to use it. So let's just switch focus just a little bit for the rest of the presentation and talk about the business that is driving this, because it is still a business. Now, you might have just come along because you want to use this, the X39. It's less than a cup of coffee a day. Over here in the UK, it's half a cup of coffee a day with the pound. But you might want to say, hey, time's a little bit tough. I wouldn't mind having a business I could run alongside what I'm doing. Or you want to make this a business and generate significant incomes, replace your current income, and be able to be in a position where you buy your time back. So LifeWave, it's been around for over 20 years. It's like the world's oldest startup, if you like. It's got a 20-year track record. It's in 80 different countries. We were talking to people in where were we? Budapest, Hungary last week. We're talking to people in Greece next week. We were talking to people in London this week. Next week also we're talking to people in France. So we're talking about a company that has grown from $20 million in 2021. So they had some other support patches. Company was going well, had a good reputation. But suddenly the X39 came on board. And then a couple, Steve and Gina Merritt, came on and they put a system, they professionalized the business. and so people could use it as a business. So it went from 2021 jumped to $320 million US, and then right through to last year, nearly $1 billion. Now, what's important about this, most of this is repeat business. So the numbers don't lie. You don't have that success unless you've got the right product, and you've got the right company supporting it. So to the point that LifeWave is number one, has been ranked number one for multiple years, as I understand, in the direct sales space. Last year, they won the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year award. It was the Biotech Breakthrough Awards. Thousands of different companies were vying for this award,
Yep.
multiple countries. And you can imagine the technology and the brain power and the science and the people involved in that. Well, LifeWave won that last year.
So one of my dreams has always been to travel and to bring my kids to Europe, which is my dream is now come true. So it's what we're doing, and we've been able to do this as well is because of the Lifeway business, is because we can be over here and our business is still growing at home, and we can grow it over here. So it's and that is what is important to me. It is spending this time, and especially my kids are in their 20s, so it's yes, mum's paying for it, and yes, they're coming, but just to have the opportunity to spend this time with them is just so precious to me. And so, what is important to you in your life? Is it more family time, security, travel, and Chris and I love to travel, and better health? And like Chris said, we're always looking at how we can improve our health. We want to live long, but we also want to live well, and we do take the supplements. We do eat well. We do exercise, and especially over here, and nothing short of 20,000 steps a day. So it's been really good, and less debt's always wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's a vehicle. I think that's the important thing. This is a vehicle to allow you to achieve certain things in your life. And it's a vehicle where it's so cool. You can also run it alongside what you're currently doing. So you don't have to give up your job.
No.
In fact, I'd recommend you don't give up. In fact, I'd say don't, because you still need the income coming in and you build this. So if we look at conventional business, I've been in conventional business for over 40 years. Apart from 6 months of my life, I have never worked for somebody. So, and business, when you come into business, the high startup costs. I mean, it's very difficult to start a business for under probably $100,000. You get a franchise, you're going to be looking 50, 100, multiple hundreds, millions, depending on what it is. But with the high cost also comes high risk. And the long hours. I've worked 80 to 100 hours for as long as I can remember. It's just part of who I am. I didn't know any other way. And what the beauty is, I can see this as an exit strategy out of that corporate grind. But the trial and error, the amount of money we have lost or wasted by trying things because we had to make it up as we went ourselves.
Oh, ain't that the truth? So with the LifeWay business, it is a low startup cost. So how many businesses can you start on a credit card and have it paid off within that month? And you're looking at $3,000 at the most.
Max.
Yeah. So it's a 30-day risk-free trial. You make your own schedule, which is the beauty about it, and it's got a 20-year track record.
One of the things in business, it's really anyone knows to have a really good successful business model is find a problem and then the opportunity is find a problem and then create a solution. Well, one of the problems out there, and we're noticing that in the health and wellness industry, there's a lot of illegitimate products. The claims are astronomical. And I mean, I was talking to someone recently, and they were buying peptides off the internet and injecting them into themselves. Where here you can just use your own body's light to do this exactly the same thing. What could be more natural than that? Most people that we talk to, they are struggling in some way financially. And we're talking about a cost of living crisis. It's all around the world. It's here, it's in London, talking to people in Budapest as well. They're feeling it. So it's a global thing. And poor health and wellness. There are so many people out there struggling. They don't know how to get well, if you like.
So LifeWay offers the solution. So it's a patented phototherapy technology. It's a duplicatable business model, and that's the beauty about it. It's not like you have to come in and reinvent the wheel. It's all there for you. It's a paint by numbers. You just follow the system, and it gives you optimum health and wellness.
Yeah, what could be better? So, from a business perspective, because David Smith chose to go down the direct sales path, and I'm so glad he did, because that means so many other people can get involved and share in the profits. Because if you go down the traditional pathway, you've got millions of dollars in brand awareness, wholesaler, retailer. So only a few people can profit and benefit from that distribution chain. Direct sales is directly with the company or the manufacturer, direct to the consumer, and then being able to share it, going out, sharing your personal testimony, just with family and friends, people that you love initially, perhaps, and that pretty quickly would cover the cost of your own product. Because the X39 comes in, as I said, it's less than a cup of coffee, but not everyone can afford that. So having the ability to refer something and cover the cost of your own product is amazing. 60% of every dollar turned over is given back to the brand partners who share this. You build a big team of people, that's going to create a significant income. And if we look at the binary bonus, there's 9 ways of making money.
Yep.
And I'm just going to talk about briefly 3 of them. The first one is called the binary bonus. And as your volume grows, it's not about who you put in, it's about the volume grows. That can go right up to 25,000 US a week. That's pretty amazing, really. But it's just as simple as finding your first 4 people. When we build left teams, right teams, we did that within the first week. We went and saw my brother, best friend, a couple of other people, and that very quickly had that. But look, very quickly, I just also need to make a disclaimer there. We can't guarantee any incomes because, look, we don't know how hard you're going to work. The system's there. If you work the systems, we know what the volumes will produce and income. But every person has their own journey. So we are not about making income claims. We're not going to say what we make, but we know the system works. We're using this as an exit strategy out of the corporate world to be able to travel and around the world as we love doing. There are startup bonuses, so people just coming on board can get their money back almost straight away. There are matching bonuses. That's for people that as you build a team and that team grows and you mentor and coach people, there are matching bonuses which are quite significant. And then the system duplicates, which is fantastic. So you're at night time over there in Australia, New Zealand. We're just starting our day over here. So when you go to bed, we're building the business over here. When we go to bed tonight, we've got a whole bunch of people in our team building the business over there and other parts of the world. We couldn't stop what we've already started, which is exciting because being able to leverage our time, because that's what we're all looking for, isn't it? Time and money. And this is a beautiful system that duplicates our effort, our time, and creates the income that goes along with that. So how do you get started? Very simply, becoming a brand partner. You register with LifeWave as a brand partner, as I said. Now, all that does, that gives you a unique identifying number, and you are now open for business. Now, you could just say, okay, I just want to get the patches for myself, for my own health and well-being, my family's health and well-being. You would probably come on at core. So what the core is, this is a sleeve. Inside that sleeve is 30 X39 patches, so a month's worth. And so that's the first 3. So it'd be you, your significant other, maybe someone else in the family. Then you jump on an auto ship or a monthly subscription. So if you're single, you'd get one sleeve would just turn up in the mail. It's a lot easier, isn't it? Thinking about reordering. For us, we just get 2 that come in every month. And so you're not locked into that subscription because some people get a bit freaked out. They go, oh, am I locked in for a year? No, you're not. It's a one-time purchase of one of these introductory packs and then go on the monthly subscription. You can change that. You cancel it. I don't know why you would, but you could. If you are considering this and saying, well, I wouldn't mind sharing this concept and making a little bit of money back. I could do with a little bit of extra income, maybe $100 a week or $500, maybe $1,000 a week. Come on at least the advance. That gives you 6 packs, 6 sleeves of this. We use that. We initially came on at that. It's I said there's $99 US a sleeve. So that's $535 one time. You've got your first 6 sleeves and you're away. Now, I gave one to Andrea straight away, one to me, a couple of the kids, and I gave Mike, my brother, one. We were gone within a week. So we upgraded immediately to the premium pack. Now, the premium pack's for the serious entrepreneur, the business person. That gives you 20 sleeves. Now, why would you need 20 sleeves? That's your rolling stock. So when we're talking to people and they say, hey, yeah, I wouldn't mind coming on board, it still takes 8 to 10 days for the product to arrive. So I'd give them a sleeve. Well, I'd loan them a sleeve. I'm giving it to them. I'd loan them a sleeve. And then when their product arrives, they give that sleeve back. So one of those introductory packs, you can only go premium once, you can only go advanced once, you can or purchase that introductory pack once, but you can upgrade. Um, and then you can just get on the auto ship. So I think it's really just very simple. Talk to the person that brought you along. Say, look, this is where my commitment is. This is where I feel my budget is, and get started. But if you're a business person, seriously consider that premium pack. That's what we were on within a couple of weeks, very quickly. So just to wrap up, go to This Is It info if you want to find out more information. There is a whole online university in This Is It team, and that is so important because this is a business that, and if you learn how to develop it, grow it, and build it, there is a whole process. You think about your job, you think about your occupation. You would have gone through training, you would have gone on through study, you would have learned stuff. This is no different. This is it's a brilliant system process. I'm struggling for the words for it, but I love it. It's brilliant. If you learn it and you study it and become a student of it, you can get the fruits of the rewards from that. So, look, we're just going to wrap up here. Let's close off because we've done our 30 minutes. But like, circle back to your brand partner, ask them which patch they think is best for you. You can do the same and say, look, here's where my budget and my thinking's at.
Yes, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining us here from London. And yeah, go back to the person and introduce you. But yeah, soon we'll open up for any questions.
Hey, it's been a pleasure sharing with you.